Welcome to the Rocky and Meisty Show presented by Jew Stool. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Let's get right into it.
That's what I think.
That is a hot take.
Tell you what, Morty, I'm picking the Lions to upset here, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, Rocky.
Ridiculous answer. If the Ravens had J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Marcus Peters, L.J. Fort, they'd be the best team.
No, I'm completely missing the boat on it. You're at the wrong dock. Meisty, what do you think about this game? The Bengals got a shot?
I have here written down in my template, I have Bengals 35, Chiefs 30. I'm sorry to say it. If Bengals are going to the Super Bowl, they're the hottest team in football right now.
They made the playoffs with Jared Goff already. They made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff already. They didn't need Matthew Stafford to make the playoffs. They had that taken care of already. They got Matthew Stafford so that they can win these big games.
The most insane, crazy thing that we have never, ever seen before. Granted, they had 2 timeouts, but
I'm curious.
We want to talk about legacy-defining plays and legacy-defining throws. 13 seconds, and you get the ball in field goal range. That is absolutely insane.
Okay, and guess what? In basketball, you use a basketball. In football, you use a football.
Deshaun Watson has been traded to the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, we're a couple days removed from this, but just want to say my initial thoughts on this. Deshaun Watson going to the Browns. Obviously, they gave up 3 first-round picks and 2 other picks. They will now have, and they signed into a $230 million deal, all guaranteed up front. So right when I heard this report, I'm thinking, wow, Deshaun Watson, great talent, going to the Browns. You know, Browns already have a great roster. I've expressed that opinion of mine several times in the past. I do think the Browns have one of the top 10 rosters in football. And now you put a Deshaun Watson who, when on the field, was one of the more talented quarterbacks in the league, one of the more productive quarterbacks in the league, according to PFF, number 3 ranked quarterback in 2020, the last season he played, despite the team only winning 4 games, right? So that obviously can't be blamed on him. The Texans had probably the worst roster in football, so that can't be blamed on him. So my initial thoughts, again, were, okay, Browns are getting Deshaun Watson with this great roster. I mean, they're Super Bowl contenders. But then I saw the contract terms, and now I'm conflicted because on the one hand, the Browns are getting this very talented quarterback, and he can bring them to the promised land. If he's on the field, if he doesn't run into any other legal trouble, which again, we don't know what the situation with that is either, but if he doesn't run into any legal trouble, and he does get on the field, he's a very talented quarterback, he has potential to be right in there with Mahomes, Rodgers, right in that conversation. So we're talking about, one of the best teams in football to couple together with that Browns team. Now getting Amari Cooper to have that 1-2 punch, maybe bringing Jarvis Landry back. There's rumors on the street about that. It's great. On the other hand, we don't know when he's going to play. We don't know how long he's going to play. Could be plays week 1 in 2022. Could play he doesn't play for the whole year. I mean, we have no idea. So, it's a lot of risk involved. The fact that they are dumping $230 million guaranteed into this man. So that's a lot. That means there's no way to back out of it. I know that the first year is only $1 million, and the contract starts to really disperse from there on after. So it's about $57 million from year 2 till year 5, which is a lot. I mean, after year 1, we're talking about $239 million. Did I say 239? $229 million from year 2 to year 5, which is an exorbitant amount of money. It's a lot of money to dump into that, and it's true. I am going to have to agree, quarterback is the place to dump the money. But that is nearly $100 million guaranteed more than Patrick Mahomes. It's $80 million more than the next largest guaranteed contract in football. So while I love the trade from the Browns' perspective, I really do. I love the trade from the perspective that they're getting an extremely talented and a quarterback that's performed at a high level when he's been on the field. At the same time, there's a lot of question marks surrounding him. You don't know when he's going to play. You don't know when he's going to step foot on the field. And you're dumping a lot of salary into him. So I'm conflicted. So the conclusion I've come to is this. If Deshaun Watson does in fact play, and we see that he's just as productive as he was before, I mean, we're talking about a Super Bowl contending Browns team. Now, I was very high on the Browns. I'll be the first one to admit, when they signed Odell Beckham, and they signed Baker, and then Baker Mayfield had that great rookie year. And then, that year when they sort of, it was a big hype surrounding the Browns, I was very high on them. I thought they were going to be Super Bowl contenders. And they didn't make the playoffs that year. The following year, they made the playoffs. They won a playoff game. They nearly made the AFC Championship game. But I'm a little hesitant to be high on them again just because of my experience last time. But to have a guy like Deshaun Watson with that roster, if he does play, and if he plays at the same level he did before, They got to be a Super Bowl contender for a bunch of years here. I don't see a way around it. I could be wrong, like I was before, but that's the way I see it. The second thing I don't like about this trade is giving up on Baker Mayfield, a guy that's had 2 really solid years in his career and 2 really down years in his career. So you don't know what you're going to get from him. He's a former number 1 overall pick, very talented quarterback. He can be traded to another team now and have a great career on that team. We don't know what's going to happen. I understand when you have the opportunity to sign a guy like Deshaun Watson, you do want to snag that. However, a guy like Baker Mayfield is very talented, number 1 overall pick. He's proved to you that he can be productive, brought this team to the playoffs for the first time in who knows how long, right? And actually, they in fact won a playoff game. Played great down the stretch in that year, by the way, that they won the play. The last 10 games of the season was one of the best quarterbacks in football. Played great, played well in the playoffs. So he's proved to you that he can be productive, can be a great thrower of the football. He's elusive. He's obviously not as athletic as Deshaun Watson, but he's elusive, can move around in the pocket, can scramble well. He can do a lot of different things. Very talented quarterback, win in a lot of different ways. So to give up on him this early, I don't know if I love that, but they were sort of in a jam when they brought Deshaun Watson in for a meeting, and Baker Mayfield was like, "Listen, I don't want to play for you guys anymore." So when those reports came out, it was like, well, they might be stuck without either of them. So they sort of saved themselves by getting Deshaun Watson because they didn't think they were going to have Baker anymore. Maybe he was going to hold out. I don't know what he was going to do. But they sort of felt maybe that they didn't have Baker Mayfield anymore. So if they didn't have Deshaun Watson, they would have been left with no one. So at least the Browns saved themselves. So my conclusion is if Deshaun Watson is on the field, the Browns are Super Bowl contenders. That's what I think. And the problem is we don't know when he's going to get on the field. Until then, we have to assume that he will play a significant amount of this 5-year contract. And if that's the case, the Browns should be a really strong team for years to come. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and have a great evening.